Hi everyone, welcome to the third webinar of a series of webinars conducted by TCS in lieu of the upcoming CIMA operational case study examinations happening in February 2023. And this is the last webinar out of the three webinars which we are conducting. So let's look at the session outcomes for tonight. I'll be taking you through examiners' comments because that's the best way to understand how we are supposed to gain marks and what you need to do when it comes to developing answer plans as well as best practices when it comes to managing your time. And in the second part of tonight's session, I'll be talking about what you need to do to develop confidence because we are some weeks away from the exam. So in such a context before the exam, as well as whilst you are attempting the paper, you should have a positive mindset or a good level of confidence. So I'll be talking about what you need to do to achieve the required level of confidence. Okay, so this is the schedule. So we have already had two webinars so far. So if you missed out on any of the webinars, there's absolutely nothing to worry. The recorded versions can be found on on our website under the free content tab. And today we are going to talk about what you need to do when it comes to preparing for your examination. So this is the 6-week study plan. In our first webinar, I explained this in depth and, explained what you need to do on a weekly basis. So we are in week number 4 now, 22nd Jan to 28th Jan. So by now, you should have already attempted 3 mock exams under exam conditions. And within this week, you are only supposed to attempt mock number 4. And within 48 hours, you would get personalized tutor feedback and watch the video lectures where I'm explaining the answers for mock number 4. Then after receiving your feedback, you can, compare it to the answer plans which we have provided. Answer plans could be found on our website itself. So just compare your answer to that of the answer plan and try to figure out what you need to do to improve your answers, and we will be providing feedback as well. So that's what you need to do within this week. And in the upcoming 2 weeks, week number 5, again, the same process. You are simply supposed to allocate 3 hours of your time and attempt a mock exam. Other than that, everything else is handled by us. You just need to go through the material, the answer plans which we have provided, and try to figure out if you want to improve a certain area, then you can work on it. And if you feel that your answer planning technique needs to improve, then you can work on it. So you need not worry too much. Just find 3 hours in the upcoming week, upcoming 2 weeks. That's what's necessary for you to pass the exam comfortably. And in the 6th week, you are not supposed to attempt any mock exams. Instead, focus on going through the content which we have provided. Just revise or brush up your knowledge in these areas. Then you can walk into the exam with a positive mindset, or you can attempt the exam in a stress-free environment. So that's that. That's our study plan. So let's try to figure out what the examiners are telling us. So the examiner gives us certain tips. So he or she says that good answers require relevance to the requirement. Yes. So if your answer needs to have a high level of quality, then it needs to be relevant to the requirement as much as possible. So this is where the answer planning technique comes into play, because as per what we have discussed in webinar number 2, I said that before you start typing the fully fledged answer, you are supposed to come up with an answer plan. So when you do that, you can constantly go back to the question and check whether your answer is relevant to what is highlighted in the exam paper. All right, so it needs to be relevant to the requirement, and technical knowledge is tested via the questions you would see within the OCS paper. So compared to all the other two case studies, the OCS exam is a highly technical examination. 90% of your theoretical knowledge will be tested, so technical knowledge will be tested. So if you do not know your theoretical knowledge pertaining to E1, P1 and F1, then you would find it extremely hard to pass the exam. And just having the technical knowledge won't help you. You need to have a certain understanding about how you are supposed to apply that knowledge within your paper. So for instance, certain important information which is presented in the pre-scene can be utilized when providing answers. That's gonna give you some additional marks. Okay, and on top of that, try to figure out whether any information which is provided in the question, if it can be used within your answer, then it adds value. So for instance, if the question is something about activity-based costing, and the company, it's about activity-based costing. So at present, the company is using absorption costing. So one of the board members are asking you whether it's prudent for us to move into activity-based costing. In such a scenario, just having knowledge about activity-based costing won't help you. It's better to bring in information from the pre-scene, because as per the information provided in the pre-scene, there's absolutely no point of implementing activity-based costing within the company, because the overheads are not too much. It's somewhere within the range of 30 to 35%. So in such a context, activity-based costing will not be too applicable to this company. So likewise, you need to have a high level of understanding about how to apply your knowledge as well. And you are supposed to provide well-structured answers. And when providing answers, you are supposed to come up with paragraphs. These things were highlighted in webinar number 2. So in order to make sure that you come up with well-structured answers, stick to the answer planning technique. And if you are bringing in any type of an argument, you need to justify your argument. But this is not, this area is not heavily tested within OCS, because you are not supposed to come up with a lot of recommendations. You are not involved with long-term decision making. Instead, you are assisting decision makers of the company. So in such a context, you need not come up with recommendations. So you need not justify anything. All right. Other than this point, all the other points will be, you need to focus on all the other points. Then before the exam, as per the examiner, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to study all areas of the syllabus, because as I told you earlier, the OCS exam is an extremely technical examination. Okay, so in such a context, if you do not know your E1, F1 and P1, especially F1 and P1, then you can't pass this exam. Okay, you are supposed to study all areas of the syllabus. Okay, so if you attempt our 5 mock exams, you would cover the entire syllabus. So there's absolutely nothing to worry in this area. And you should know how to apply to the scenario, or relate to the question or the information provided in the question. Again, we've got you covered in this area, because our mock exams, if you go through the suggested answers, then you would understand what type of application is needed at the exam. And on top of that, we have provided answer plans for mocks 3, 4, and 5. And we requested you to develop your own answer plans for mocks 1 and 2. And once you do it, you would know what type of application is needed at your exam. And you are supposed to practice tasks or practice mock exams. And when doing it, you are supposed to type or write full answers. Okay, so why is the examiner particular about full writing or practicing full answers? Because you need to get accustomed to real exam conditions when attempting your mock exams. As I've highlighted earlier, you need to sit in one place, find 3 hours at a stretch, sit in one place and attempt the entire mock in one go. You cannot break it down to several parts or over a few days, because it's not going to add value. Because at the real exam, you can't break down your time. You have to sit in one place and attempt the entire paper in one go. So it's better to get accustomed to these things beforehand as well. So that's why the examiner wants you to practice full exam standard mocks, and that's exactly what our mocks will provide you. Then during the exam, what are you supposed to do? Plan your answers. So again, This is where the answer planning technique comes into the picture. And the marker is under strict instructions to mark answers on their merits. So the marker is not looking at the length of your answer. Instead, if the quality is there, then you would gain full marks. And how can you ensure that you come up with a high quality answer? By structuring your answer beforehand or coming up with an answer plan. So all these tips were covered in the second webinar as well. So, I'm reiterating the points again and again so that you get these things right, because this is what the examiner expects out of you. It's better to stick to or adhere to the guidelines provided by the examiner. Okay. Right. So let's look at the marking criteria. Okay. 2 markers will allocate marks before the final mark is finalized. This is, conducted by CIMA to achieve a high level of transparency. And mark allocation for each subtask appears as a percentage under each requirement. So under each and every subtask, you would see a weightage provided, and based on this weightage, you are in a position to determine how many marks are allocated per subtask. And based on the mark allocation, you would know how many points or how many answer points you need to have within your answer. So all these things were covered again within webinar number 2, answering technique, and marks are allocated based on merit. The examiner picks quality over quantity. So just because you provide lengthy answers, you're not going to get marks unless and otherwise the proper information is provided. And when providing your answers, as the examiner has asked you to develop paragraphs, if you have for instance, if you have 7 answer points within a certain subtask, you need to have 7 paragraphs. Okay. So why am I asking you to do this? Because it makes the invigilator's life easy. So when the invigilator knows for a fact, okay, this student per answer point, he or she had come up with a paragraph, then the invigilator can easily read each and every paragraph and count how many points are there. Based on that, the invigilator can easily provide you marks. So it's better to develop a high level of positivity, or try to create a high level of positivity within the mind of the invigilator, because that's gonna help you with gaining marks. Because when the invigilator has a positive attitude when marking your paper, you are definitely going to get a lot of marks. Okay, so try to stick to these things. And then moving on to the second part of tonight's webinar, I'll be talking about what you need to do to develop confidence before the exam as well as on the exam day. Okay, so before the exam, what are you supposed to do? Stick to the study plan. So, we have provided the study plan about 3 weeks back. So if you had stuck to the study plan, you should be in week number 4. You should be attempting mock number 4 by in the coming week. And in order to gain a good understanding about the study plan, refer to the recorded version of webinar number 1, and refer to the study plan as well, which we have shared with you. And stick to a routine. It's better, we are getting closer to the exam. So in such a context, it's better to, accustom ourselves to a routine where, it's better if you can wake up and sleep on time. Better if you can allocate 6 hours of continuous sleep, because if you do that, it's going to be extremely helpful at the exam, because the exam is going to be stressful. Mark my words. However, before the exam, you need to have a relaxed mindset. And the first step towards achieving a relaxed mindset is getting your routine right when it comes to waking up and sleeping. And if you, plan your daily meal intake, or if you stick to routine time frames when it comes to the daily meal intake, you would find it extremely easy to wake up and sleep. And that's going to be something positive to you on the day of the exam. So it's better to rest your brain. It's better to feel confident. So try sticking to this routine. And when practicing mocks, what are you supposed to do? Practice under simulated exam conditions. So as I highlighted earlier, attempt a paper in one go, allocating 3 hours. Do not try to break it up. So you can easily get yourself accustomed to exam conditions by using our mock exam platform, because you can attempt all mocks under exam conditions via our platform, which is developed akin to the Pearson VUE system. And when attempting mocks, try to do it in isolation so that there aren't any disturbances, because if that is the case, you can't concentrate fully. You can't give your 100%, even though, even if you are attempting mock exams, I want you guys to give your fullest effort so that you know where you stand before the exam. Because if you do a shoddy job when attempting mock exams, you do a shoddy job at the real exam as well. So the best way to learn is by attempting mock exams under real conditions. So try to create an exam scenario, try to attempt your mocks in isolation, devoid of any type of disturbances, and stick to the exam technique routine. This is of utmost importance. So when you are attempting mock exams, I want you to stick to this routine, or else you can't replicate it at the real exam. So 20 minutes should be allocated towards reading the question and developing the answer plan, and the remaining 25 minutes should be allocated towards typing the answers. All these things were described in depth in webinar number 2. And let's see what you need to do, what you need to do to maintain your confidence on the day of the exam. So before the exam, when you wake up, try to rest your mind and body. So that's exactly why, as per the study plan which we have provided, you are supposed to stop all your work a day prior to the exam. So if your exam is on Tuesday, then by Sunday you should finish off all your work, and on Monday you are supposed to rest your brain. You are supposed to you're not supposed to go through any study material, not supposed to go through any mock exams or answer plans. Just try to relax your mind and body, because it's going to be extremely beneficial for you at the real exam. If you're stressed before the exam, you might get low marks because you might panic, and panic leads to mismanagement of time. And when you cannot manage your time, you end up coming up with half-hearted answers, or answers which are incomplete. And once your answers are incomplete, you will not pass the exam. So it's better to rest your mind and body before the exam. And do not refer to any study material, mocks, or answer plans, as I highlighted earlier. And try to think on the day of the exam, try to think that you are the finance officer at FireWorks. Try to, create a situation where you are reporting to the finance manager. Whenever you are providing an answer, try to create a situation where you think that you are reporting to your boss. Everybody has a manager, everybody has a boss. So try to replicate such a scenario or try to create an environment like that. Then it's easier for you to come up with better answers, and try to let go of any type of negativity. I'm pretty sure that everybody feels negative, or everybody is a bit shaken before the exam, especially on the day of the exam. As a student, I remember I used to have this stomach ache right before the exam. Okay, so I had to constantly tell myself that this is not an actual stomach ache. This is coming because of stress and all. So there could be negativity, but it's better to let go of this negativity. And how can you do it? By relaxing yourself before the exam. Okay, so that's exactly why I want you guys to stop all your work a day prior to the exam. And during the exam, you might feel stressed at a certain point, because out of the 4 tasks, one of them is going to be extremely hard. You have to expect that. Okay, so in such a context, you can't take the stress, or you can't crumble under pressure. What you need to do is you need to keep moving forward. So in order to move forward, what are you supposed to do? Stick to the exam technique routine. Okay, so if you plan your answers properly, then you'd come up with a quality answer. Don't try to type your answers right after reading the question. There's absolutely no point of doing it. It's better to spend some time and develop a structure, spend some time to see how the quality can be improved then you'd get better marks. Okay, so if you stick to the exam routine, then or answer planning technique, then you won't go wrong. And if you still feel stressed, try to drink some water because it's going to calm your nerves. Close your eyes and breathe slowly for 2 minutes. Focus on your breathing, because that's going to calm your brain. Because what happens is usually when you are panicked, there's a certain part of the brain which is known as the amygdala. Amygdala kicks in, or it takes over your entire body, which leads to you further panicking. Okay, so in order to calm down your amygdala, what you need to do is you need to focus on your breathing. So if you feel stressed, don't worry. Everybody goes through this because this is a competitive exam. Even I had gone through the same experience. What you need to do is just close your eyes and breathe slowly for 2 minutes. And remind yourself that you have done your homework. You can only do this if you have attempted all 5 mock exams before the exam. So try to attempt all 5 mock exams. Then even when you are feeling stressed, you can remind yourself that you have gone through all material, you have attempted mock exams, you have gotten feedback. Then there's absolutely nothing to worry, because you can't avoid a situation where you get a hard question. It could be something to do with P1, risk management. Usually, risk management related questions are a bit hard. So there's a lot to read. So this leads when you are reading a lot, and when you are not too comfortable with the syllabus area, then that leads to panic. So in such a context, just remind yourself that you need 80 marks to pass, not 150 marks. Out of 150, you just need 80 marks. That's 54% as a percentage. So that's all the amount of marks you are supposed to get to pass. You can, if you're not too comfortable with a certain area, you can skip that area. You can forget about focusing too much or spending a lot of time on that area. Instead, you can focus on an area which you are really comfortable with. Okay, so these are the things which you are supposed to do if you feel stressed, and give your best shot, because as the finance officer, you'd always try to give your best shot when reporting to your manager. So that's exactly what you are supposed to do it. And try to be open-minded, because as per the CIMA examiner, positive students end up acing the exam. So try to maintain a high level of positivity. And if you are to on the exam day, and if you are to have a high level of positivity on the exam day, you need to feel positive before the exam. Okay, so if you are yet to start work, you have to start working now. We have made your life easier. We have brought it down, brought the study system down to a place where students are simply supposed to allocate 3 hours of their time and start attempting mock exams. Okay, that's the only thing which you are supposed to do. Everything else is handled by us. So you need not develop answer plans. You need not come up with suggested answers. You need not come up with annotations when it comes to evaluating the pre-scene. Everything is done for you. Simply focus on attempting the mock exams. Okay, and if you complete all your work by the end of the 5th week, then you don't have anything else to do. You simply have to go through the study material, the answer plans of the 5 mocks. That's exactly what you're supposed to do, nothing else. That in itself will help you to create a high level of positivity, and positive individuals, so positive students end up providing high quality answers at the real exam. Okay, and in the coming 3 weeks, try to avoid these deflections, because if you do, you'd be entangled with activities which takes up a lot of time, but adds no value at all. Okay, so don't try to go through the exam blueprint too much, because most students closer to the exam, they on a daily basis, they tend to go through the exam blueprint over and over again. That's not going to help you improve your chances of passing. Instead, it's better to spend time to attempt mock exams. And over reliance on predictions, you cannot predict what is going to happen or what type of questions will be thrown at you at the real exam. So don't try to listen to individuals who would predict that a certain area can be tested. You can never be sure. However, if you attempt all of our 5 mock exams, you would cover the entire syllabus. So whatever the question which might be thrown at you, you would know how to structure the answer. And excessive industry analysis is a killer as well. There's absolutely no point of spending a lot of time and trying to find information about the industry via Google and stuff like that. No, absolutely no point of doing it. And we have provided a set of slides for industry analysis. So if you just go through those set of slides, 12 slides in total, then you would know everything about the industry. So you need not refer to any other material, or you need not find your own information. And misguided use of past papers could be problematic as well, because most students, what they do is they try to relate to the past exam variants. But the issue is, whenever the case study changes, so would the questions. Certain questions, if let's assume the case study is based on a company which is in the service sector. If that is the case, certain questions which are applicable to a company which is in the manufacturing sector will not be tested. Okay, so because of that, there's absolutely no point of looking at past exam variants, because they are not based on your case study. So it's better to invest on mock exams which are based on your case study. And information overload is a killer as well. So that's exactly why we have made sure to provide only the necessary information. So through our study material, as well as through our mock exams and tutor support, we are only providing you with the necessary information, leaving out all the irrelevant activities as well as information. So try to avoid these deflections, or else you'd be wasting a lot of time. So if you are supposed to start attempting mocks, you have to start within this week, or else you'd be too late. And focus on attempting mock exams. Don't try to do everything under the sun, because all study material are provided by us. So just stick to the study material, go through them, and your job is to attempt mock exams, nothing else. All right, so let me talk about what we offer. So we offer 4 packages. The first package is known as the Essential Pack. This is £99, and the price of it is £99. And if you invest on this, you would get access to the recorded versions of the webinars which we have conducted, because through these webinars, we are providing you with all the technical knowledge. And after going through the 3 webinars, the next step is to start utilizing the material which we provide. Okay, so which consists of 5 mock exams with suggested answers, full pre-scene analysis videos. So the entire pre-scene is broken down into 4 parts, and there are 4 videos in total. And if you go through these videos, you would have an appropriate level of knowledge pertaining to what appears within the pre-scene, and you'd get your hands on the annotated pre-scene. So this is what an annotated pre-scene looks like. So it's the same pre-scene which is provided by CIMA, but the only addition is the annotations which we have provided, thereby summarizing the entire pre-scene, bringing out only the necessary information. Okay, and on top of that, via these annotations, we have also highlighted any theoretical content or syllabus areas which can be tested. So if you get your hands on the annotated pre-scene, you'd have a good summary of the entire pre-scene. So once you go through the annotated pre-scene twice or thrice, you'd know all the necessary information about your company. And on top of that, we have provided 3 TikTok videos. We have already shared it via our WhatsApp group. So if you go through these TikTok videos on a daily basis, which would take only 9 minutes of your time, you can keep yourself reminding about the most important information about the company. So that's exactly why I said you need not do your own research. We have done the research. We have summarized all the content, and we have provided TikTok videos to provide a further level of efficiency or convenience to you. So try to make use of the services which we are offering, and you'd get your hands on the industry analysis, financial analysis, and top 10 likely issue slides. So this is what this is what our financial analysis looks like. So all the financial statements which are provided within the pre-scene are analyzed, and information is provided in a concise manner. So by going through these points, you can easily understand about what happens within the company and what type of financial performance they display. And on top of that, a similar approach has been utilized for the industry analysis. So in this, all the information which is provided are based on real life companies and real life industry dynamics. So by going through all these slides, you'd know what type of an industry this company is, this time's case study is based on. So that is going to be extremely beneficial for you when developing your answers or providing the answers. So that's what the type of study material you'd get your hands on by investing on the essential pack. And if you go for the value pack, this is the package which is suitable for students who are looking for one-to-one tutor support. So if you're extremely comfortable with self-learning, go for the essential pack, or else if you feel that you need tutor feedback and tutor support for one-to-one mentoring, then you have to go for the value pack. And under the value pack, you'd get your hands on all the content which appears under the essential pack. On top of that, you'd get access to the online mock exam platform. So when attempting all your 5 mock exams, you can do it via the exam platform under real exam conditions. And we will be providing professional marking and tutor feedback for mocks 3, 4, and 5. And this is the type of feedback, tutor feedback you would get. As you can see, we have provided in-depth evaluations on a paragraph basis. And at the very end, we provide marks as well, so that you know where you had gone wrong or the areas in which you need to brush up your knowledge. And we are providing answer plans as well. So simply by referring to the answer plan. So for instance, if you look at this student, for the first subtask, the marks allocated are 14.5, but this individual has only gained 6 marks. So this is a weak area. So you are simply supposed to refer to the answer plan, go to task number 1A, refer to the answer plan, then you'd know why you didn't get a lot of marks for this area. So we have made your life extremely easy. Refer to the feedback, then refer to the answer plan, then you'd figure out how to improve the quality of your answers. So that's what you can do. And we provide theory recaps pertaining to E1, P1, and F1 syllabus areas as well. And these slides are concise and precise. So if you go through them once, then you are in a position to brush up your knowledge in these areas. And we provide 2 further packages, the essential pack as well as the essential plus package, as well as the value plus package. Under both these packages, what you get is you get your hands on 12 videos where we are discussing the mocks, the answers pertaining to mocks 3, 4, and 5. So within these discussions, we have covered theory. So if you're coming through an exemption route, you have to go for a plus package. Okay. So mostly students coming through the FLP route, what we have felt is you guys lack a proper level of knowledge pertaining to the theoretical content, especially at the OCS level. Since technical knowledge is tested heavily, you have to know your theory. And this is of utmost importance when you look at syllabus areas such as P1 and F1, because 80% of the questions which you'd see at your exam will be based on P1 and F1 syllabus areas. And if you don't know P1 and F1 properly, or if you have not understood the theoretical elements of P1 and F1, you can't pass the exam. So if you're coming through an exemption route, it's better to go for either of these 2 packages, because you get your hands on the videos. And via these videos, I'm teaching theory as well as application, because as per the CIMA examiner, you get marks for technical knowledge as well as application of that knowledge. These 2 areas are covered. And on top of that, I would also show you how to bring in information from the pre-scene and how to relate to the information provided in the questions or the scenario. Okay, so these are the type of videos which we provide under the 2+ packages. So if you go for the value plus package, that's that package consists of everything. So you get tutor feedback, you can attempt all your mocks via our exam platform, and on top of that, you'd get your hands on all the study content along with the 12 master classes or the 12 videos where we are covering theory, application, as well as highlighting how to come up with answers which are relevant to the requirement. And the price is £275. All right, and if you're still to join our WhatsApp group, you can simply click on this button and join it. All right, so that's what we offer. So we are happy to inform that we achieved 87% pass rate last time, where the general pass rate for CIMA students across the world is 53%. We have achieved an 87% pass rate, and 9 of our students got more than 100 marks. That's because they stuck to our study plan and they attempted all 5 mock exams and sent them across for feedback. So if you do it, then it's extremely easy, because the 5 mock exams are totally relevant to the case study. The 5 mock exams cover all syllabus areas and they are exam standard. Mark my word, our mock exams are not easy. You would find it extremely hard when attempting them. That's pretty basic, because similar type of questions will be thrown at you at the real exam. Okay, so if you stick to our study plan and do your job, which is to attempt the 5 mock exams, then you can easily pass, because everything else is handled by us. Okay, so that's that. And if you're attempting the exam at home, because of COVID-19, these guys, CIMA, introduced this option where you can attempt the exam at home. So before, attempting the exam, refer to the CIMA information page, go to this link and read the content thoroughly before the exam, because there are a lot of technical nitty-gritties which you need to know. So it's better to go through all this information before the exam, 2 or 3 days before the exam, and try out the CIMA exam platform by following the guidelines, because most students, when they try to go through the technicalities, they panic before the exam. So just 2 or 3 days before the exam, try to figure all these things out, because don't get stressed about a simple technicality. It's better to prepare yourself beforehand. Right, any questions, guys?